Hello and welcome to episode 24 of the Long Distance Stitchers. I'm Megan,
I'm also Megan.
and we're here to talk about cross stitch and knitting.
Knitting,
Or,
yeah.
yeah, knitting. I was going to say or crochet. I don't know which.
It's knitting. It's knitting
It's
right
knitting. There we go.
now. Yarn projects.
Yarn projects. Fiber arts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all string.
Yeah, exactly. You can make anything with string.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
It's been about 3 weeks since our last video, so we have not done that. I mean, I speak only for myself. I have not done that much.
I've done more than I thought, but also most of it was in a condensed period, and I've really only been working on one thing most of December. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a lot in one day and then really nothing else. So
You have some reasons though.
yeah, yeah. We were at the Jingle Ball,
Yeah.
and that was when I got most the most that I did in the whole month was at the Jingle Ball, and it was on one project that I still have not finished. So
You'll get there.
yeah. So if anyone saw me on Saturday of the Jingle Ball, no, I did not finish my bookmark, but I will.
And now you know how to fully finish it. So
Exactly. I can always, and I already have my little tassel
read into
that's somewhere around here.
yeah.
Here it is. My little tassel.
It
Beautiful, perfect tassel.
yeah. And that's a new
I'm ready for finishing.
perfect.
So you have finishes. I don't have finishes.
I
I
have
should show you finish.
6 finishes, 5 of which I will show you today, and one which I will show you next time.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very impressed with myself. I mean, I guess one's an FFO. You saw the finish last time.
Yeah.
And most of them are very small. However, they're still finishes.
Hmm.
Right? So, we'll see. Do you want to show us your tarot draw for today?
Oh yeah. We literally were just talking about it. Okay. I drew the High Priestess, and this is from the Tarot of the Divine deck. So it's based on folklore and mystical tales from around the world. So this one is based on Turkey, or as it's now called, Turkey, Arabic, how do you say that word? I don't know. Folktale. The high priestess is a keeper of vast knowledge with a story for every situation. Um, Scheherazade asks the listener to focus on what their subconscious tells them, encouraging them to form their own conclusions. Her power is vast yet subtle. Her answer is always mysterious. So, this card is about wisdom and intuition and listening to your inner voice. So, I feel very called out on that because I am often wise, but I do not listen. And I have a new tarot card holder that was in my advent calendar. Oh,
So I am using a new deck, and I have a few decks to show you when we get to purchases, but it is a Legend of Zelda deck. Um, this is my first draw, and I drew the devil.
cool.
Yeah, the art is amazing on these, right? And so the devil is about power and authority and rebelling against it or freeing yourself from it. So, I'm gonna free myself from work for a bit. Maybe that's what it's telling me, but that is my draw for today. The book for this has little messages that are very if you know the Legend of Zelda, are very Legend of Zelda. So
Oh,
for
okay.
example, it says there is no excuse for ending the world and being mean to your friends, even if you're lonely. So that is our draws for today. And yeah, I will show you some more tarot decks when we get to the investment section of this episode.
Exciting.
Did you finish anything this month? No. Or this week? This segment of time? Okay, so I have a few things to show you. So first, at the Jingle Ball, Megan and I both took the Ink Circles Season and Greetings class. And
very good class.
I made this pillow with my Season Greetings stitching. It's so cute. It's a little wobby squabby, which I can easily fix up with some trim on the outside, but I honestly don't care. I love how it turned out. I love how my fabric colors match. If you took the class, you will recognize that I did not follow the instructions. I did not read the instructions. I looked at a picture in the instructions and said, oh, I'll whip up the sewing machine sewing before the class starts, thinking that we'd spend more time on the hand embroidery. But we spent like 2 minutes on the hand embroidery and a lot of time on constructing the pillow, which is good because I learned some really good tips. And she does it so like the back fabric actually wraps around and is the side fabric on the pillows, which is a different shape than when you have the edge at the edge. So I look forward to doing that.
Yeah.
Pillows. But I'm so pleased with this finish. It's been sitting upstairs. It's like my only holiday decoration right now. And I love it a lot. And I love it so much. I bought the big one, which you will see later. But I'm very pleased with this little FFO.
Oh, yeah, I do have Hull. I have Hull from Jingle Ball. I totally forgot. Yeah, I did buy stuff.
I also started and finished and fully finished and then put in the mail something that I made for a friend who is giving it to their partner, who is also my friend. So it's like double friendship, but it's off. I will share a picture of it in our next Flosstube once the recipient has received it. Just in case. I don't think they spend their time watching us on the internet, but they might. And you never know.
You never know.
Okay, I have layers and layers of things that I will be showing you today, so I have to unlayer it. So at work, we did a holiday gift exchange, Secret Santa type thing. And we were asked to tell our partner 3 things that we liked. And the person I gifted to said that they liked Doctor Who and pink and sparkly things. And so I made them a pink Doctor Who TARDIS ornament with some A12 floss in there so that it sparkles and it's small and beautiful and perfect, and they loved it, so like fantastic, A plus me. And B, I'm gonna make another one for myself because look at it. And it took me, I don't know, like probably 2 hours tops, including the finishing. It's finished on the back with some belt and stuff to close it up and make it look. It's perfection.
So cute.
A little like 2 and something inches, like not quite 3 inches size hoop. But yeah, so I can't show it to you because it is gone and on its way. But I love it a lot.
It's so cute.
It's absolutely.
Are you gonna do the same colors for yourself?
Yeah, I've got everything upstairs. I'm just gonna remake it, and just identical, right?
Yeah.
The beads might be a little different depending on what's in my bead stash, but otherwise, that's what I will do. So that was a SAF. Through a fully finished, gifted away. I finished my Threads of Diaspora, which I think I had started the last time we filmed.
You definitely showed it because I remember talking about it.
Yeah, so I finished that. I posted a picture on Instagram because they're asking people to post. And I used Sulky thread on mine because my Michaels did not have a very good selection of the, I forget if it's 8 or 5 weight DMC. So I used 2 strands of sulky, and I think it looks great.
Yeah.
I know that they are very much like they recommend, but they're open to you using what you have, right? And so it's on 11 count Aida. It's like a 45 by 45 stitch size square, and it is back, like it's in the mail, or maybe it's already there because I'm in Canada and it's probably pretty quick. And so I will next week request a new one and do it while I am off from work for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, send that one away. And then I've got.
I didn't request mine yet because I was away and busy. So, but I will. I'm gonna do it. I love all the ones that I've been seeing. Like Michelle posted hers, and like, yeah, they look so nice. And I would love to get involved. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And they're quick, right? They don't have to take a lot of time. So even if you're a busy person, it's easy to participate. And I do have lots of 11 count Aida if anybody is struggling to find it.
I
Yeah.
have some as well. I
Oh, you
can
have
send.
some. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a big thing for Michael's because that's
Mm-hmm.
family had it in big, and so that's what I got.
Yes.
Hence, also doing more of them so that I can.
Yeah, I could do quite a few. I have a good chunk.
Yeah, I don't want to commit to too many at a time though, so I will do one, finish it, mail it because I can mail it with just a stamp.
Yeah.
So it's not a big outlay to me. They do say like if you want to do more, you can hold off on mailing them, but I'm not.
Yeah.
They're literally just over the mountains, so I'm not too worried about it. Put a stamp on it, send it off. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. I did a start and finish of find something. I use this of from Darlene and Whimsy's Designs, the Quirky Quaker Mouse, which I think
Oh yeah.
last
I
time.
forgot about the mouse.
I whipped this out in one morning. I used 2 Brina needles, which of course I forgot to bring downstairs for the gray and the pink. So I'm sure they have really awesome names. I posted about it on Instagram, so
Yeah.
there. And then the black is 310, our trusty standard. And this is 1/1. I think when I counted it, it was around like a 25 count scrap of linen that I got in an ornament grab bag thing from Kaylee 10 Stitch, the sewing
Oh
shop.
yeah, Christmas ornament. Well,
And I pulled out this little tiny piece and I was like, I can put the mouse on there. And then I was like, I can make the mouse
perfect.
small on
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So it's so cute. And I will put that in my cross stitch journal at some point. For now, I will just admire it. And then I have one more finish, and it's a smidge larger than everything else that I've been working on, although I did not whip out the whole thing just in the last 3 weeks. I finished my Natural World Sal. So you would have seen up through November. So I put in December with a red yucca plant and some strawberries or heartberries. And I love it. It's done.
It looks so good.
It will fit in an 8.5 by 11 size frame. So I have to go
Oh, nice.
buy one of those because I only have 8 by 10s kicking around.
Mm.
And I'm very pleased with it.
You should be. It's excellent.
Yeah, very happy with my finish. I Christy gave us a gift pattern, a cute owl gift pattern, and I'm gonna do that on the green fabric, but probably with just black floss or maybe a dark green. And then maybe never stitch on 56 count again.
Not even to do over one tiny stitching.
To be fair, it wasn't terrible. It was just a poor choice for such an extensive
Yeah.
year-long project. Yeah. But yeah, I finished. I'm very pleased. I gave it a really good iron, and then some of the wrinkles came back, so I'll have to give it another really good iron.
Mm-hmm.
And then my stretching skills will be thoroughly challenged when I go to frame that.
Yeah.
But I was very happy to finish it. I'm very pleased with myself for keeping up with it all year.
Yeah.
There was a there's a blip there where I fell off, but I got caught up and then I stayed caught up. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Christy did a good job. She's working on another one for next year. It's not going to be 12 months, but another stitch along, like, you know, the world outside and around us. I don't know how much she has said publicly, so that's all I will say.
Yeah.
So that's.
I'm excited for it. I will definitely, I mean, I don't know when I'm going to finish this one, but I will keep working on it and start the next one
Have
because,
full pattern now, so you can work.
yeah, I can work in sections. I mean, I was already kind of doing that because I'm way behind and I
Yeah.
haven't touched it in
Like if
months.
you wanted to plow out the full back border so that you
Yeah,
can put in or something like that, you can do
like
that.
that. And then do because like it is nice to have it all set and then get your little boxes and everything and then fill them in.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah.
Did you start anything in the last 3 weeks? Okay.
I did. I started 3 things. So the first thing I started was my project for my first class at the Jingle Ball, which was the Jeanette Douglas specialty stitches. I wonder if I have a cover photo. And I basically just started the like the regular stitching part of the project so that I could just work on the specialty stitches during the class, which worked out really well. Um, I have here. So she just made us, it's a very tiny little ornament.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, it's really cute. And then, yeah, so I'm doing mine in silks. So all of these silks were from my, um, what's it called? Muppets Christmas Carol. Muppets Christmas Carol box from Fangirl Fibers. That's these 3 colors. And then I had this random other silk from Kit Mat Designs that I bought on the truck, which was like kind of just like a different color, but I thought looked good there. And so did, I started with this tree and I did the plant. And then during the class, I did this herringbone stitch all across the top and down. And then we learned how to do these Smyrna crosses and, or yeah, whatever this one is called, the Algerian eyelet. That's that one. And this big one, this is the queen stitch, and this is the road stitch.
Okay.
Like for the berries.
Yeah, so, they're very pretty.
Yeah. I was really happy that I had decided to do that because being able to actually follow along and because she sent us the instructions and like they're very clear, but then seeing someone do it and also looking at the instructions, I was like, oh, now I really understand.
Yeah.
So I was able to just like do it like right then.
It does make.
And I don't know when I'll finish this. I might finish it over the holidays when I have a little bit of time off. But yeah, it looks cute. And I'm doing this this is 28 count Oogie's dice from also from Fangirl Fibers from my Nightmare Before Christmas box. Because she said to do it on like not Aida, because then like you need all the holes basically. Yeah. Or some of these stitches, like doing it on Aida, like you could do it, but you'd have to pierce the Aida. And I mean, unless you only had Aida, I don't know why you would do that. So.
Yeah, don't make it harder for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also started my bookmark pattern for the Tiny Modernist Christmas bookmark, seasonal bookmarks. Okay. There we go. So she gave us 2 patterns. She gave us a winter one and a summer one. And I started the summer one the morning of that class, thinking that I could finish it before the class. And honestly, I came really close.
Yeah, there's a lot of stitching there.
Right? This was probably about 6 hours worth of stitching while I was also on Zoom talking to people and like like I got up and made food a few times. Like this, if this had been just straight stitching the whole day, then I might have finished it. But I mean, I did that whole house, like all the big chunks are done. It's really just like there's some flowers and like some more snow and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty much it.
a
So I
little
could,
color in the snowman's face there.
yeah. So I could pretty quickly finish this and fully finish it as a bookmark. So you need like stitching on the back too, because it's like you take two pieces of like your Aida or whatever and you like stitch them together. So I could just like do
But
the
it's
same
just
thing
like
for
a
the
border
front.
on the back, right?
Yeah, so it's a border, but also while I was in the class, some people were showing us their finishes and they had taken some of the motifs
And
and put it on the back as well so that they could count it easier across. And I was like, oh my God, that's so smart because I'm terrible at counting. So I might do that as well because then at least you know like how far across you're going. So I'm glad I went to the class because I never would have thought of that.
plus then it makes it right, it gives it interest on the back as well. Instead.
Right? Like otherwise it's literally just like blank. Like, yeah. And then yesterday finally was rested enough and didn't have any other projects looming over my head that I was able to start the new salve from our friend Miriam. Do you have it ready to go or should I show it?
I pulled up the drop from yesterday.
Okay, yeah, so it's just the border. So I'm doing mine on, I believe this is called, there it is. Beautiful. It's so big.
I
I
mean, if you watch her thing, you can mix and match and make it
yeah,
bigger or make it smaller, right? So,
yeah. So I believe this is called Perfectly Pastel. This is an 18 count. This is from Kaylee at the sewing shop. It's just this nice pink. This needle minder is from Helen, the Diddy Stitcher. Uh, I wanted something Christmassy. And I'm using these three colors of Brenna needle. So I have the Cove, Mermaid Purses, and Dark Tickle Light, which when you kind of like strand them together are very similar, sort of like gray to purple, a little bit of blue. Like I just really like, and because I knew I would need a lot, and I didn't want to just like go out and buy like eight skeins of something else when I already have so much floss. So I was like, what can I like pretend is one big thing? And then for the insides, I'm doing these three sulkies. And I'll just sort of like play around with the colors, like especially because like the first one is like that kind of like winter one. I might do this one, I think, because it's like the lighter blue. And then we'll see. And then I might, I mean, who knows? I might grab
so
some new colors halfway through. Can do whatever I want. But yeah, that's my tiny little start. That was about an hour last night. I'm just starting with border,
yeah,
doing one strand over one square because it's 18 count. And it's like a little smaller than 18 count usually too. So
looks great.
that's it. Do
Yeah,
you have any starts to share?
I do
Like
have
this month,
a
for
few
example?
starts. So I also started from Yalda to Nowruz. I am also using a fabric from Kaylee at the sewing shop. It's a yellow fabric. I lost the tag on this one, so I can't remember, but I'm sure that I showed it when I got it. So if you really want to know, go back until you find the episode with it. And so this is
Oh,
black.
yellow.
And I'm getting myself, I know like the border's going to take a while, but I'll get myself situated so I can do those first drops. And I'm going to do both of the first drops because I can't pick. So
I
the
also have that problem.
yeah, so the first drop, Miriam has a quote from a poem from a 13th century Persian poet that says, "Seeing your face every morning is like Nowruz. Every night without you is Yalda." And so putting that in there. And then she gave us an alternate band, which is these trees and verbs, which is very solsticey, which is Yalda.
It's cute. I love it.
Pretty, so pretty. So I'm gonna put both of those in mine, and we'll see where it goes from there.
How are you planning to do that? Are you just gonna
I'm
like,
just gonna put two bands in.
oh, I see. Okay.
I will either it will either be longer or there might be bands I don't want, which is what Miriam's response was when I was like, why are you making us choose? Right? So
Okay, that makes sense.
if you
Yeah.
go and watch the video that she put out on her Flosstube about it, where she
Yeah.
says like, she's going to have some drops where there's options and you can pick and choose and you can sort of make it as long or as short as you want it.
Right? And then you could also like go back and be like, oh, I didn't stitch this one before, but now I might add it on or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I
So
like that.
um so I'm gonna start putting in the first band. I need to put this on a bigger
Yeah.
frame so that I can go all the way across. This is just what I had handy when I started. Um,
Hmm.
but as always, Miriam has given us a beautiful border with lots of stitching. But I am excited to keep working on that. And then I also started and have been stitching on every day the Modern Folk Embroidery Roxy Floss Company Evertote Countdown box. So I got a 40 count. The fabric is called Turtle Dove. I've positioned it so there's half the fabric left for something else or somebody else. Um, and so we are getting a new floss color every day and we are getting a new pattern. This is done up to yesterday. So today we've got flowers to add up in here. So I will do that later on. I'm really enjoying this. I've only had to frog a little bit. This purple really threw me. I put in the purple line and then I saw somebody else's post and they had the little leaves here and I was like, oh crap, I didn't see those. I put them in. And a few days later, there was a little tiny bit of purple here that I saw in somebody else's post. So I had to keep putting the purple in. Everything else, I think I'm good.
Right.
But it's been really enjoyable. Some drops have a lot of stitches, a lot. And those have been all my stitching some days. Almost.
Yeah.
It's also been a hectic month. We got this pretty needle minder. It's part of it as well.
It's beautiful. I love that.
So
I love when there's like a little bit of the design on and even needle miter, it's like almost matches. It's
yeah,
like,
and I'm not gonna go through all the colors, but like these are the flosses so far that we have had. This is today's. That isn't in there yet. Um, and like I haven't had to pull a second length of 6 for any of these.
wow.
Floss left. And your friend of mine, Michelle Bendy, sent me a message saying she had so much FOMO on this that I'm gonna stitch kit pass it to her.
Oh,
And I can give her, right, all the
yeah.
floss colors without having to give her all the floss.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough fabric for Michelle to stitch on. She's not shy of a small border.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'll send it to her when I'm done. So she
Yeah,
can.
you could literally use like one or two lengths, whatever, and then yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
might even have some of those colors
I
anyway, because a
think
lot of them are Roxy. Or they new. Okay, yeah.
they
So that's
do
fine.
all new ones that they do
She
for.
has a lot of Roxy Plus already, but yeah.
So um it'll be easy to just
But yeah, if you haven't even used more than one, then you
exactly.
definitely won't need more than one.
Yeah. So but yeah, that has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of really nice.
my last new start is for my Yarnicious Advent box, which is Floral Saurus themed. And so it is just like really pretty blues and purples and greens and pinks. I'll show you the yarn a little bit later on. But the project that we got is called the excavation. Well, we had choices. So there's a cowl, a stocking, and a sweater, and the cowl could be knit or crocheted. I went with the knit cowl for mine. This is my first colorwork project, although I have um, other patterns that I've bought before, but I've just never actually done them. But so
Mhm.
um, you can see this was done in 3 colors, but I've mapped out how to use all my Advent yarns to do it. And so, because it's not a 24. I think we get 15 total, something like that. I don't know. But I've got
Oh,
the the ribbing band on it, and then the first band, which is those little dinos,
those are nice colors.
and then I have started the Stegosaurus one.
Hmm. That's so
So,
cute.
yeah. And I did all of this yesterday,
Oh,
which I
wow.
impressed with myself, although I didn't do any grading. So that's what I will be doing when we get off this to finish that. I gotta get grades in. Whatever, it's fine. If they pay me to do it, I should do it. But I really enjoy it. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to do the floats and make it look nice.
Hmm.
Trying this jogless seam thing. I'm not 100% sure that I'm doing it right, but it will be fine because I will put it at the back and no one will know.
No.
Um,
Are you using your new needle stitch marker things that you got
oh,
from?
these no, these are old.
Oh,
These are my Firefly Advent stitch markers from last year.
oh, right. Okay, yeah. They
Um,
looked kind of similar to the.
there's also I
There's
have
so many now.
already have lots of stitch markers. Um, our friend Kim tagged some of us in a really, I felt mean video on Instagram this morning saying things like knitters buy yarn and then don't use it because they don't have a project for it, and knitters hoard needle markers or stitch markers because they're going to lose them all, and knitters have so many projects they can't even remember what they have, and like it felt like
Wow.
I hadn't
Call
even had my
out.
coffee yet, Kim, and you attacked
Yeah.
online.
Attacked. Wow. Mm. We
Shoot.
both have them for the first time in so long. We didn't even talk about it.
Oh, no. When I went to make my coffee this morning, I was like, oh, I need to use that one.
I had the same thought. I made tea.
Yeah. So those are my starts.
Those are excellent starts.
I agree. The advent calendar will be done this,
Yeah. You're
right?
keeping up with it.
Be a finish this year.
Hmm.
My cowl, I feel like, will probably be done this month as well. Just because of how quick it goes. I mean, it's just knitting once you get into the middle section, right past the ribbing. Um, like just stockinette, and then the working with two colors is not as complicated as I thought it would be. So I've been a chicken for a long time. I learned a new skill yesterday, and I'm very
Right? And like that's kind of the fun is like you get to challenge yourself and then it's just for you. It's just for fun. Like it
yeah.
doesn't matter if you're
And then I'm
terrible
gonna
at
have
it.
this awesome cowl.
Yeah, exactly.
And people will be like, "Oh, it's so cool!" They're at the coffee shop at work, like the students run the coffee shop on campus.
Mhm.
There is one person who works there who every time I'm wearing one of my handmade things, she wants all the details.
Oh, I love that.
It's lovely.
Love that.
Yeah. Did you have any whips that you worked on?
I did. I worked on 3 whips. So on the day of the Jingle Ball, so the class that we did was the season's greetings, and there was 3 possible things that you could make. So this is the one that I picked. So Megan did the ship, the middle, and I picked the anchor
Then there's the
because I
ship.
thought it would be the fastest one that I could stitch. I got pretty close. So there's some more seaweed, and then there's some like little, I don't know if they're like flowers or whatever. But I finished these 2 colors are both all done, and then there's just a lighter seaweed color, and then there's like the lighter.
Yeah, you can whip that out in no
I'm
time.
pretty close, and I really want to do the pillow because I want to learn. I want to
Yeah,
like
and
try out
because
some of the
you went to the
techniques.
class before you made your pillow, you'll do it right the first.
Yeah,
It's not wrong. It's still a pillow. I made a pillow. I just
yeah.
didn't.
You made a great pillow, and you have other designs that you can make
I
into
have
other
a
pillows.
whole pile of things that I can make into pillows or glue into
Yeah.
books
She
or
was literally just like pulling stuff, and she
yeah,
was like, "Oh, here's one. I'll turn this into a pillow." Like 20 minutes later, pillow. It's
yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
like
And I
I
like to make like a little production line, right? If I'm gonna
yeah, that's smart.
4 or 5 at the same time,
Yeah.
I just get
So
it
yeah,
all.
I worked on this on the Sunday and it's almost done and that's good. And then I took a bunch of stuff with me to Costa Rica to work on and I Didn't touch any of it.
Very busy.
But
To
I
be
did
fair,
work on, huh?
not have downtime.
Yeah. Well, so looking at the schedule, you would think, oh yeah, you've got hours at the end of the day to do whatever you want. But we were literally like working on a coffee farm all day in the sun and doing manual labor. Like farming is hard.
It is.
And then they were like, okay, we'll be back at the hotel at like 8:30, and I was asleep by 9
Yeah.
every night. Like, and we had to be up at like 6 a.m. the next day. So yeah, I didn't do anything. But I did work on my coups on the plane on the way over. So I had a little bit, I think I had pretty much finished this grass the last time we saw it. So I started putting in the brown for his
Little
little species. And then there's some purple, like I guess it's like lavender or something
yeah.
flowers.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty, pretty.
This is such an easy one to like pick up and go when I know I'm gonna be somewhere where I can do a little bit of stitching because it's like everything's like right there. So it's kind of become my go-to to go project.
Yeah.
And then my whip go call for this month was to do 10 hours on Strawberry Fields Forever. And I got it out a couple of days before I left. So I've done about, I think, 4 hours, 4.5 hours maybe. So this whole vine, that's all new. This flower pot
Mm.
was completely done. That was, oh no, there's a line of color there still. And then I only had one berry when I put this down last time. So all of these berries are also new. Yeah.
Looking great.
Yeah. I'll be able to get a lot more done. I still have like 6 hours to
Nice.
work on it. So, but when I first started working on this, I thought that my reds weren't red enough, but I don't know. I'm now
Oh, it
looking at
looks
it
great.
again. They're bright red. They're great.
Looks like
So
strawberry. I wouldn't read
yeah,
that as anything else. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. That's it. That's all I worked on.
okay. I have 3 whips to show you. So I'll start with my knitting whip, which I think I had started this last time, so I think I showed it. I'm not sure if I showed the finished project, but this is the bullied shawl,
Oh yeah, I
which was
remember
from my mass extinction countdown from Yarnaceous Yarns. I love her yarn; it's so good.
that. Hmm.
And so the sample project was done with fingering weight, so holding double and then marling it, right, so that the fade is really subtle. My
Yeah.
fade's not that subtle because I have the DK weight, and so it's a little stripy, but I am loving how it is turning out. So this is, what color am I on? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I'm on color 7, I believe. I could go back and look for sure, but you do this little, you make this little bump. You're crossing one stitch over another, and it creates this really lovely texture pattern.
Yeah, it looks nice. I
And I love
love
it.
those colors.
I am in the middle of a row, which is not ideal for stopping, but I was at a retreat all day, and that's where I stopped. Um,
Hmm.
that's my little project. I love it. There's like 10 more colors or something to put in there. I'm not 100% sure. Um, it does get longer. Every set of 2 rows, you add a stitch, so it's just going to get
Hmm.
longer and longer. So the blocks of color will get shorter and shorter. Yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. It's not mindless knitting because I gotta do those it's like every 3 sets of 2 rows. You
Hmm.
the stitch crossover, and you gotta pay attention and make sure you get it in the right place because it's very annoying to undo and have to
Yeah.
redo it, but you don't get the same effect if they're not right. Like they're all lined up. So
Hmm.
I am very much enjoying that, and I will keep working on it. It does not knit as fast as the other one because you have to do a purl row back, right? The other one's in the round, so I'm just knitting and purling. I am slower at, to be fair. I've
So
not
good.
touched my artist shawl since the last time, so I'm not making the March deadline on that one. It's fine. I will just keep plunking away on it. It it is not good at work knitting.
Okay.
And so that is where I have been knitting lately.
Yeah.
Other than starting that cowl, but the shawl has all been at work knitting. Not that I don't do my job, but sometimes I have to sit and listen to people talk in an environment where I cannot also work, which is what I do on Zoom. When it's just listening to things that, whatever, it's fine. Everybody does it. I have more work than I have hours in the day anyway, so when I can double task, I can double task. But sometimes I just have to sit there and be there, and so I knit.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. And so I hired an assistant manager, not assistant to the manager, an assistant manager recently. And so she's been with us for about a month, and she's already also knitting at work when appropriate. I'm a good influence friend.
Yes. That's so funny.
Right. Yeah, so cross stitch wise, I have my memory tapestry.
Oh yeah, you did so much.
I forget exactly. I know the tree wasn't done and I didn't have all the stars. So I finished the tree. I don't know how much of it, if the crown was done or if it was part way, but put the rest of the
I think it
stars.
was started.
And now I've got to do the white over here. I stitched on this like basically through the end of November from the last time we filmed, but then I have not worked on it in December. So when I am off work, my intention is to finish this and this band here so that I'm ready to do the downward bands. Well, basically to move it and start putting the text in. I still think I can finish this by March 24th, 25th, 25th. I will not be done the knitting. I never thought I'd be done the knitting. I had hopes to be maybe a little further along, but distractions. But this I think is totally doable. So I just have to finish other things. And then I will get back on this and whip it out. Whip it out. Whip. It also helps that, unlike in past years, I'm not planning to start a whole bunch of things in December when I'm off. So I can spend all my energy.
No, I'm not. I have no, aside from the MFE 2024 sale.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna do my next start, and then that's it.
I'm gonna start 3, maybe 4 things in the next little while, but we can talk about that later. But I'm not doing like a startitis thing, and they're not deadline starts or anything like that.
Yeah.
But really, my holiday stitching will be on my tapestry. And then I also worked on my chaos birds, which the last time you saw it, we had October done. So now all of November's in there. Instead of doing a second squirrel, because there's a squirrel up above, I got a little Death Star pattern from the same person I got this Millennium Falcon pattern for. It's stitched all in A12. It's the cutest, sparkliest Death Star you'll ever find. I might make a pink Death Star to go with my pink TARDIS.
Oh yeah, you should.
And then I have my birds up to last Saturday. And then Dr. Christie gave us options. I'm gonna do snowflakes. In these snowflakes, and then I am toying with just doing a little band down here of the colors and sort of putting like the temperature, not every temperature range, but like what my lowest is, where 0 is, and what the highest is, maybe. Just so that there's a reference on there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
But yeah, so I will plug away at this, and it will be either my last finish of 2023 or my very first finish of 2024, depending on if I feel confident in putting that last bird in on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if the temperature is going to super drop overnight or something, then I'll have to wait. But if it's a week where it's pretty consistent, I should be able to do a solid guesstimate. And there's definitely a couple birds in here who probably don't have the accurate temperature. But
that's No one's gonna be auditing your temperature, Sal.
No,
I feel like it actually wasn't 27 degrees on March 27th. Like,
I guess. I guess. So those are my whips. That's it. So for only 3 weeks and for feeling like I haven't done a lot of different things, I actually did a lot of different things.
yeah,
There's good variety there.
yeah. Not
So
too
have you invested in anything in the last little, or do we want to
Yeah,
do our focus bestie swap gifts first?
yeah, we can do that. I'm gonna show mine too. Are you gonna show yours?
Oh, what I made. Yeah, I should.
Yeah, because I didn't show it at all before.
Um, got the
So so my person that I designed for was Ellen, the Make Do Maker, which is funny because I definitely was already following her on Instagram.
thing.
When when we got paired up. And well, so she had a few options of her favorite books and favorite authors and all that kind of stuff. So I started just like Googling them because I wasn't really familiar with them. And the one that had like the most like striking like artwork that I was like, oh, this is so like very unique and different, and also something that I could very easily stitch, was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. And there's like this design where it's like the four Londons. And so it's just like four circles. Um, and you basically, I saw that picture. Whatever, it's fine. And you basically like there's like four circles, and then I also found this like stack of books. There's like a poster also by V. Schwab, and then there was like a quote on the top, and I was like, oh my god, it's so perfect. I'm gonna just like kind of like design these two things together and stitch them. And so she took a really good picture of it with the book that the quote is from, which I didn't even realize was the first book in the series. So you can see it there. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. So yeah, so those are the four Londons and then the quote down the side. So I did the quote in like a variegated floss from Brin and Needle, because it was like red and gray and like black, and which like goes with like the colors of the thing. But yeah, and then there it is with the book. She took this amazing picture of all the stuff with the book in the background, and I was like, oh my god, I'm stealing that picture. That's so great. It looks so much better than the picture I took. So yeah, and I made a little bookmark. I just like had some cardboard and like moved it around and then did like a little tassel because it was before I took my bookmark making class.
Yeah,
So
now you have new
now
skills.
I have new skills. But yeah, she was very, very happy with it because she was like, she designed this. And I was like, yeah, because I couldn't find any. Well, her one of her other options was like Neil Gaiman kind of stuff, and I was like, I bet I could find something for a Neil Gaiman book because it is very pulp culture-y. But
Mhm.
then once I found that, and I was like, oh, but like this would be easy. This would not be that difficult to do. So I made that.
Cool.
And then I got mine from Emma in England. So she made me, which I mean, this is not small. Um, this is actually pretty big. She did this all with um, Roxy colors, and it's all like variegated floss. It's really pretty. I love this flower. Like, all these colors are just like so me. So yeah. And there's like a little charm thing.
It's so pretty.
Book. It's so pretty. I don't know. I feel like I could just like, there's nothing to like hang it. It's just like,
Mhm.
but so I could either just like have it just like leaning on something like on a shelf,
You can
or
add it here too if you want.
try to add like a hanger. We'll see. Well, I'll see what I end up doing with it. And she gave me this great card from this bookstore in England as well. And then there was this needle minder of Belle's books, which is also Starbucks, which she did start following me like immediately after we got our partners. So I kind of assumed that it was her anyway. So I don't know if she saw that I worked at Starbucks or just like
Or it's
that I
just
would like it anyway. But I was like, oh no, like that's so perfect. Because I Beauty and the Beast is like my favorite Disney movie. And I don't think she knew that either because I didn't say that. But yeah, it's like that's so perfect. And it's a needle minder, which I also always need. And then I got these little stickers too, which are very cute. This Death by TBR, which I definitely have a long TBR list that I'm ignoring and
Collecting
emotionally
books to
working
read and
on.
reading books are two different hobbies.
Yeah, yeah. And buying physical books to put on your bookshelf and as like a trophy of the books
Those
that you read
audiobook
digitally.
trophies. Audiobook trophies.
But yeah, so I was very happy with my swap. It was very well organized. I missed my last check-in, and then I also forgot to send my tracking info to Heather, and she messaged me like 3 days later, and I was like, oh my God, no, I literally took a picture of it like as I was leaving the post office because I was like, I have to send this to Heather, and then got home and was like,
And for
my
my
work is done. I've
followed up
completed
with
my
me, I
swap.
was like, oh, good news. My partner already received it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily my stuff arrived very well. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So I made for Stitch, but
Stitching hat or just stitch
oh,
net?
Stitch Nat Lit
Net.
Chit Chit Chat. Sorry, Nat. Nat, no, Gina Nat Dean. Fame. Uh, was the person I got to stitch for. And she has the same favorite author as I do, Brandon Sanderson, who, if you are into epic fantasy, is a great read. Um, there isn't anything he's written that I have not enjoyed. So that is my endorsement. And then her favorite quote is from The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And
Oh,
I found a great bookmark pattern with the quote, "He is half of my soul, so the poets say." If you haven't, so I hadn't read this book, it was not on my radar at all. And so I got in line at the library and finally got to listen to it a couple weeks ago. It is beautiful and heart wrenching. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend. And so I am very happy that Nat introduced me to a book I hadn't read before. That was lovely. And so I did it as a little ornament finish. And then I also needed a nod to Brandon Sanderson. So this is a very deep dive quote from the Stormlight archives. I'm not going to give it any context. If you know, you know. If you don't, I don't want to ruin it because it's a very funny part of the book. But I'm a stick, and then I just put it on this little bag, just made a little tote, and then I made her a book sleeve as well. And I had some other goodies that went with it. And she is very pleased with it. I'm very pleased with it. Might make myself a little "He is half my soul, so the poets say" bookmark at some point because
yeah, it's really pretty.
yeah, yeah, that book was. I'm still thinking about it. If you're still thinking about a book, it's a good book. So, and then our friend Anna Stitches and Books and Stitches. I'm really bad at Instagram handles. I'm sorry, but lovely Anna. She's cool. We spend time together on the Zooms. It's
Mm-hmm.
great. She had me as her partner. She is also apparently a Brandon Sanderson fan.
Oh, no way.
She used a third party messenger and asked me who my favorite. What did she ask me? I forget, but some sleuthing. Anyways, she designed a cross stitch pattern based on the Bridge 4 glyph from the Stormlight Archive,
Oh,
which is so cool. And then she made it into this project bag. Can
that's
you
so
believe it?
nice.
So nice, so nice. This project bag is very heavy right now because it has all of my every one of my countdown things and their cardstock. So
Oh, yeah.
it feels very hefty. But isn't that beautiful?
That's
And she said she's
gorgeous.
gonna work on designing the other glyphs from the book as well, which is very
Yeah,
cool.
that's so nice.
And she sent me these really cozy dragon socks, which are on my feet right now, and they are lovely. They're like good lounging around the house, like they're super fun.
Oh, yeah. like
and
slipper soft.
some delicious cookies that may or may not still exist. You know, things happen. Uh, but yeah, I am so pleased with this. And now it's one of those things that where I'm like, I can't just put anything in it. It has to be something special.
Special. Yeah.
But also something that I'm not going to carry around because I cannot risk ruining the beautiful stitches. So thank you so much, Anna. I don't know if you watch us, but thank you. If you do, I love it. So that's the bookish bestie swap. Did you sign up for the sassy and snarky swap or the trading card swap?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
No, I might have missed it when I was away, and then I
Oh,
just wasn't.
yeah. I think the signups for the sassy and snarky swap are closed, but the artist trading cards, I think it's open. Like she's not
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll check that.
limiting the numbers the same way.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's open till the end of December to sign up for. And if you follow Heather Link is my homeboy, she started a separate Instagram account specifically for trades, which I can't remember what it is.
Oh, yes, I do remember.
Yeah. So if you're interested in doing the swaps, go and follow her new account, which I assume you can get to from her. Link is my
I think
home.
it's probably linked.
Pardon?
It's probably linked from her main
Yeah.
account.
Yeah. So but I highly recommend. I've done two now and I've been pleased. I'm going to do the sassy and snarky one. We'll see what information I get about my partner to figure out what they want or what they might want. And I'm excited about that. So it'll be fun. And then the artist trading card one, you're supposed to do something related to the year that you were born. So I have a plan that I need to map out a little bit and get started on. And that you just do the little trading card. You don't send anything else. So it's like a more low key trade. So,
Nice.
yeah.
I mean, 1985 is my favorite year ever. So I think I should do that one.
Go check it out and sign up. So what did you buy in the last?
What did I buy? So, I mean, I know you bought this one too. So the ink circles, full size season greeting.
Ingredients, which I'm gonna
I don't
put on
really
the
see all
same
the details on there.
as
Yeah.
my pillows. It has the same floss list, and I hadn't put my floss away, so it's already kitted up. So that's one of my potential 4 new starts. I might start that one relatively.
And then from Tiny Modernist, I got the Christmas narwhal.
Narwhals, narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion because they are so awesome.
And so one thing I learned in my we do love a narwhal. One thing I learned in my bookmark making class was that the process to make a bookmark and a process to make a Biscorno are identical. They are the same.
Same finishing.
Now, I definitely feel a lot more empowered to make a Biscornu. And I have like 5 Tiny Modernist Biscornu patterns now.
I don't know if you've watched Allie's latest Flosstube, but she was nervous about the Biscornu, and she took the Biscornu class with Jeanette from the Blue Flower.
Oh yeah.
And she talks about how easy it was, which it really is, right? Like once you get started and you wrap your head around like how you connect the fabric for this, it's very straightforward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I also got this Christmas terrarium.
And not as big as one would suspect. It's not a huge.
It's only 64 by 95.
Yep.
Tiny.
Falls into my smalls category. I consider anything under 100 by 100 a small.
And I also got them this Santa Friends.
They're very cute.
It was on sale, and I really like that Mary Slothmas.
It's very cute. It matches some of your other sloths.
Yeah. I do love a sloth. The sloth is apparently like the national animal of Costa Rica, so all of the like merch and stuff was like sloths. Yeah. So I got a few. And I know you have this one too.
Oh yes. Yes, I bought that one as well.
So good. I'm so excited for these. I don't know when I'll sit.
It sounds like it's a series, right? Like this is the first set, but there will be more. which
That one's from I didn't yeah, so the last ones were from Tiny Miners and these ones are from Heartstring Sample. And those are all exclusives at the Jingle Ball.
which doesn't mean exclusive forever. It just means exclusive.
Yeah,
I'll
we
be
just got them
yeah.
first.
I think the only ones that are like exclusive are the ones in the ornament book.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. That was all I got at the Jingle Ball. I only bought three from three different people.
And that's all your
I
purchases?
didn't physically buy anything else this whole month,
Okay, awesome.
which is crazy. I did place an order with Kaylee, but she hasn't shipped it yet because she's like dyeing extra fabric for
She
something.
had to finish
And
that
yeah.
cross stitch for her mom, which she did, and I 100% believed in her, and she did it. She so many stitches,
Yeah.
and it was so good. And I don't know if you saw on Instagram the meal that she cooked the same day she was finishing the cross stitch. Like she like her mom
Oh,
for dinner.
no. I knew her mom was coming, and that was like why she was trying to finish it. But
Like she
no, I
cooked
didn't.
multiple dishes of Indian food for meal.
So I'm
Super impressed.
no rush. I don't need any more things. I just, I can't pass up a sale. So
I bought the season greetings sampler, the big one, and I got the ornaments from Heartstring Samplery, and then I also got from Ink Circles the Moonbeam Tea. I needed this pattern in my life. I have to figure out what fabric it's going to go on, but it is beautiful.
mhm.
I wish I had a big enough piece of like dark sparkly fabric that I had.
Oh yeah.
I don't, so it's fine, but it's beautiful. I love it. I will stitch it at some point. I own it now, even if I don't stitch it until after it's released to everybody. So be it. Sorry, I'm just closing the other ones because I don't need to see them. I got in the mail an order from Traditional Stitches that still didn't have the fabric that I ordered because they have
Oh right.
fabric from the supplier, but they finally got in. There's a whole bunch of Mill Hill beads. I won't go through them for my Mirabilia that I should also start at some point.
Oh, that's what else I'm starting this year. I am starting another thing this year. I forgot.
I had also ordered this came out at whatever the fall market was. I don't remember what it's called. But from Carrie Chow Samplings, We Are Stardust, which
Cute.
I mean, I assume it's a tribute to Carl Sagan. It doesn't say anything on there, but he's the one who originally talked about us all being Stardust. But
Hmm.
it's beautiful. It's lovely. It's quite small. I will stitch it at some point, but it's also here now. I will get to it. But when I saw it, I had to have it. And what was it? I was ordering fabric. I still threw it in there anyways, and then I still don't have the fabric, but I just have everything else that I ordered to make the shipping worth it.
Yeah.
But that's pretty. You can hear all the beads. Um, that's my cross stitch related stuff. I've accumulated a few new tarot decks. I couldn't actually remember what I had the last time that we were here or not. So I have a few decks to show you. I think they're all new since we last met, or at least I didn't talk about them. Like, did I talk about this one?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so this is a Squid Cake Marseille Tarot by Jess Rolar. I don't know if Squid Cake is like some sort of, I haven't even looked it up on the internet, but I kept seeing this and I just thought it was freaking cute. So I got it. I like that it's a little compact one, which is nice because when I go a traveling, compact is nice so that I can still take it with me, but it doesn't take up as much room. I really like so the suits are very straightforward. There's nothing extra. So I just have examples of all of them. So that's the cups, the batons, or they're wands in some of them, the coins, also like pentacles in other decks, I love with the berries and the swords, right? And so just depending on which number it is,
Mm-hmm.
pictures expand and include more. So I like that it's not right. Some decks you get different imagery on every single card. This is a lot more straightforward. And then I just pulled a couple of my other favorites from this. So I really like the Wheel of Fortune in this one.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I like that little lizard coming up the side.
It's a little axolotl.
Excellent. Sorry.
So that's really cute. And then I also really like the Knight of Coins because he's
Oh, yeah.
a gorgeous frog. But the drawings are just quirky and whimsical.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. The backs of the cards are also really pretty.
Ooh, yeah. It's nice.
Yeah. So that's one deck. Then I believe I had mentioned at some point that I had pre-ordered to go with my other two Star Wars tarot decks. The last one sort of the original trilogy, Tarot Wars. Again, these are major arcana only. They come with a little coloring book that's got a little bit of a guide, which I didn't notice until I hadn't really noticed that until Michelle was showing hers. They do have a little bit of information on the cards. And then I just pulled a few of my favorite from this deck. So Death with Darth Vader there, and you can see the remains of Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. The Hangman with Han Solo. Strength. Again, a little morbid, but I also just really like it. And then the Lovers with Luke and Leia and R2D2. Right? Which also, like, the Lovers, right? You can love all sorts of people in your life. It doesn't have to be romantic love.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's Tarot Wars. And then if you look at my stories on Instagram, you will have seen a lot of this one that came in, which is another major arcana only, Middle Earth, by Brooklyn No, N-O-E, Brooklyn Draws on Instagram. She is making her way through the minor suits as well.
Oh, okay.
Actually, there will be a full deck. And I believe she has these for sale still on her website. I did a pre-order. And they're absolutely.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yes. I'm not going to show them all to you. I couldn't pick a favorite from this if I tried.
Hmm.
I love them so much.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's
So I highly recommend. I will definitely be getting a full deck when they come out.
mm-hmm.
I may or may not have ordered print for my wall, which I will show you when it comes if I remember. It might go directly up, but like, look at this.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's so good. So I love it. I find like doing the draws from decks that are only the major arcana are very different than doing draws from other decks.
Yeah.
And then I backed on Kickstarter, so I showed you my one today, this Legend of Zelda tarot, and so we got a full deck, so all 78 cards, and then there was a stretch goal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the major arcana only, and it's specifically Tears of the Kingdom
Mm-hmm.
related imagery in this one. The full deck
That's
has
the
it from
new.
the Zelda
Yeah.
game.
That's the new game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I just pulled. So this is from the full deck. Just a few of my favorite so far. Page of Cups and the Star.
Oh, that one's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, but you can see, right? Like it's different games. If you're into. Oh, I pulled another one. What one was this one? Oh, Justice. Right. So like, our
Oh,
different.
yeah, that one's really
Oh
cool.
wait.
Yeah.
Here. Nope. What am I doing? Different links. Different links.
Different links.
Names. And then from the Tears of the Kingdom one, just a few of my favorite. um, the moon.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah. He's got like, there's a shiny stuff on these cards. It's not really going to come through the tower
Mm-hmm.
and the hangman.
Nice.
So,
I like the writing, like the
yeah. And so these all showed up very close to each other. And my dear husband's a little bit like, oh, what's going on? I was like, they're pre-orders. They're just all coming at the same time. Right? Other than the squid cake one.
yeah.
So it's fine. It is what it is. I need to,
A hobby.
yeah, yeah. I probably have enough cards for the next little while though. I don't need any more. At least that's what I tell myself. I did also from uh this guy who I don't think I said his name. It's Roy Houston Stewart. Um, I did. He did a Ghostbuster major
Oh,
arcana as well, so that will come at some point. That was a Kickstarter order. I suspect it will come in early January.
yeah.
I'm sure if I went and looked, it would tell me a timeline, but yeah. Otherwise, there's nothing on the horizon, but that could change.
I mean, yeah, they make new ones all the time, and you're like, no, I now have to have this one too. Understandable.
Right? Um, have you been opening tiny presents this month and have anything you wanted to share?
I I haven't gotten that much like cross stitch directly related things, although there was also a bunch of stuff in my advent calendar that was not wrapped. So I can show some of that.
Your belated birthday-ish haul.
I did get this lovely color in one of my tiny presents, which is just called limited edition. I don't
Yeah,
know
they have
but
lots.
it's a beautiful purple. And I did get a bunch of these little
Oh yeah,
bobbin holder thingies, which I was using on my Miriam Sal, and they're fantastic.
they
I'm
work really well. And
very pleased with these.
if they get too stretched out, put them in like boiling water.
Oh, they just like shrink
They'll
back up.
tighten up again. Yeah.
There's a lot of goodies in here. Many, many stickers from
We have to
uh,
highlight the Mothman specifically was a gift from Deanna that
yeah.
she
He
sent to
sent
me.
this to Megan to send to me. So
And we laughed about that.
pretty special.
And the crab was because I got one in my Patreon gift, and then one came with the sets. And I was like, I could have two crab paper stickers, or I could give one to
And I appreciate that because I do love these little stickers. And then she also sent me um these thread duos from the Quirky Quaker Cottage Garden thread collab, which I also bought.
but I didn't know you were buying them, and we had talked about sharing them, so I shared
You
them,
know,
and they were already in the mail when you were like, "Hey, I bought these from Top Knot," and I was like, "Okay."
I feel like I also knew that, but then I was like, oh, it's fine, whatever. And then
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You just have more
I'll
colors now.
definitely use them.
Yeah,
And she also sent me the not the wrong color,
yeah,
like for the
yeah.
octopus.
I forget what they're. One of the two colors in the mix is not the right color, and so then we got the right one, quote unquote right one, and then
Yeah, KD, it says KD 26 is the overlapping one, and then AK 11 is
yeah.
the right one.
So I just thought Megan could use another. I have a lot of cottage garden threads now because of the Hearts for Pam, so I just was sharing the well.
And this will definitely come in handy because I think I'm going to use a lot of these colors for my autumn cottage garden sampler
Mm-hmm.
animals. And then she also sent me the cottage garden threads for the um, Christmas Down Under patterns from Lindy Stitches.
I think I have handy here. Maybe not. Oh, here we go. This set. Again, which I haven't stitched any of, but it came out last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I also want to get those. I don't know if I'll buy my own or wait. And then I got this fabric that has like blood splatters on it, which is perfect for a certain someone who loves horror movies. So I will definitely stitch a few things on there. Speaking of Biscornus,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the Octopus Biscornu, which I also have wanted for a while. So I'm excited to do that one. I have so many now. The Quirky Quaker Owl, which I definitely need for my Quirky Quaker Advent calendar next year,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I still have to make because she's going to be drawing numbers soon, and I need to know what I'm going to be stitching. Bigfoot from Plum Street Samplers.
And these.
Very exciting. Acorn, what's it called? Acorn, all about the acorn from Lulu Stitches. So this is the one a lot of people have stitched this.
It was the Acorn Gathering 2022 pattern.
Yeah. And strawberries all around from Rosewood Manor. Very nice. And Yummy Boo Boo. It's a weird name, but this is a cute little Halloween sampler. I don't know if I mean, ours is like, well, I do just like the basket and then like do this like as a small, but I just together. But I like having like things with like a lot of different like configurations.
Mm-hmm.
And then also this like Christmas farm, Christmas tree farm. Just like the Taylor Swift song. So lots of new fun things for me to stitch. And then I don't know if any of my other I mean I got this like for finishing, which I have so many like fall finishes and it's basically like a little shadow box.
You needed it when I saw it. And then
And
I was like, crap,
another
now I have to find a box big enough to send it.
and another tarot card holder,
Yeah.
which is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty. And then a lot of like sewing stuff, which is great because I'm definitely gonna be
Inspired
sewing
by you getting
forever.
a sewing machine to help you build
Yeah.
some sewing stash. Maybe, maybe.
Well, especially because of all the pillows I'm gonna be making soon. So that was pretty much all my stitchy kindness.
I haven't pulled out all my Adventy stuff either. I just brought some highlights, such as what I opened this morning from my friend Megan.
Oh. So those okay, so
Much.
this is this girl who like she has like a little shop and she basically surf Benny. So it's basically like a trailer that she like drives around and she'll stop at different places. Like I see her like every other weekend or whatever. And I thought it was like I went in there when I first saw her and it was all just kind of like surf stuff. But then I was walking by on my way home one day and she had all these like ornaments outside and I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. And I saw that one and I was like, Megan needs this.
I,
Megan needs this
I'm very
so
happy.
bad. Yeah.
I love that a lot. Um, my friend Megan also gave me this super sparkly Cosmo thread that I gotta figure out what to do with it. But I love it so much. She's also given me 8,000 stitch markers. I didn't bring down the other ones, but this little set, these ones are really more progress keepers. But these are all like half desiccated animals. So good. This little like skeleton cat, this whale,
Yeah.
um, cat with a skull on it, skeleton bat dude, and then this like bunny thing.
That's funny. Yeah.
They're so funny. They're so funny. So I like them a lot. I always use more progress keepers. She also sent me this beautiful enamel pin, which is
Mm-hmm.
cats.
There was so much tarot stuff at our Madoku, like this art store. So that's where most of the tarot themed things came from.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got these beautiful pins for Halloween things. They're very cute. What else did Megan give me? And this beautiful for putting trinkets in, or stitch markers.
Always need trinkets.
And this bag. Look at it.
I love that bag. It's so pretty.
Right now, it's got the balls of yarn from my two Adventy
Oh,
projects for the
perfect.
colors that I have finished. That I'll have to figure out what to do with the leftover yarn, but it holds them very well right
Hmm.
now. The Modern Folk Embroidery countdown. We also got this ornament,
Oh, that's so pretty.
right? So it's
I
got
love that. It's
on the
I love how they can like that and like the needle minder. It's like the essence of the stitching, but it's like yeah, it's so nice.
yeah, so it's really pretty. Um, I have an advent calendar that's all stitch markers and an
Yeah.
advent.
Which I don't think I realized when I put so many stitch markers in your it's like, oh, there's gonna be a lot.
And I have tins. I put them all in, and it's fine. And you do
Oh,
lose stitch markers. And also, the more projects I put on the needles and don't finish, the more stitch markers I need. So yeah. Um, so then in my Yarnaceous one, there's been some little treats and things. There was a delicious chocolate bar with sponge toffee in it. That did not last very long. And that sort of stuff. We got this beautiful ornament as one of our
oh, that's beautiful.
right?
So
Gorgeous, right? So it's floral source.
yeah.
Um, and then today we got stitch markers. The Progress Keeper is that same dino, just tiny.
Oh,
And then these
cute.
really pretty little flower stitch markers in colors that match the yarns.
Yeah.
And so there's been some other things, but there's also yarns. So this has so we got like a full skein of the dark one. And then so there's this dark blue was next, and then this purple, and then I've got a light blue and a light purple. And then these are the next
Yeah,
yarns
those are
that I've opened. There's still more yarns to open though, so there'll be a few more colors. But it is beautiful. The colors are gorgeous.
great.
And so the cowl will have all of the colors in it, with some black interspersed to help fill it out. And then I will have leftovers to do something else with. I'll have to weigh it all and figure out how much I have, but I will definitely make something else with these other colors. I'm very pleased with the colorway, although like she had two colorway options and the other one is more like peachy tones and things like that. But um, you know, I also really like those colors. So maybe I should have gotten both, which is ridiculous. Too much. But Advent season, there's still 9 days of tiny presents to open, I think.
Yeah, it's well,
Eight
eight,
days
I
of tiny
guess. So,
presents.
yes, yeah.
I did open the last present of my countdown box for the Yarnaceous because it's the project bag. So I have no,
Oh, yeah.
I will show you next time, just in case there's somebody watching who has more chill than I do. It is an excellent project bag. Excellent.
Good.
I signed up. Have you signed up? So like my fabric of the month with Kaylee is an ongoing subscription. I had thought about changing the count or whatever, but I decided to just let that
Yeah.
ride. I've been doing like I've been using what I'm getting from her for the most part. So
Hmm.
I mean, obviously not all of it, but I will use it. So I'm just gonna let that ride. And I had thought about not doing another project bag of the month because I have all these project bags now. I'm trying to whip down, which will be a surplus of project bags, etc. But she had an option where you get 6 months of cross stitch project bags and 6 months of knitting project bags. So that's what I'm getting. It'll be a fun surprise every month. I'm very excited about it. I love her bags. And then she also has a prototype club of the month. And this year, like whatever the system with the monthly things, she couldn't only charge me one shipping, so she's been refunding me every month. So instead of refunding me, it's the same cost as the like second shipping charge. So I will get a
Okay.
prototype every month as well of something.
Oh.
Could be anything. It'll be a surprise. I'm very excited because I think she's a genius and
Oh, I see. Because you're signed up for two things, you get charged for shipping for each one, but she
because
ships
you
them
can't
together, of
buy them
course.
together and combine the shipping because they're
Yeah,
subscription things, right? So she's been refunding the
yeah,
shipping, which has been fine.
that makes sense.
Like it's probably an administrative nightmare, but she's been
Yeah.
doing that. But I just said like, hey, instead of doing that, can we just do this? And she was totally on board.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah,
excited. Yeah,
that's so cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you get.
me too. Me too.
I'm gonna see. I was debating signing up for one of the clubs, but I mean, I have a couple trips coming up in the new year, so I'm gonna try not to make any big purchases until after that is done.
You can sign up for the clubs anytime. It's not like you have to start it in
Yeah,
January. So
like yeah, for a year, calendar year. Yeah, exactly. So, and then I also just like have been like ordering stuff from her pretty regularly anyway, because I'll see what you get, and then I'm like, oh, I need that.
I'm a bad
So,
influence friend,
oh, good influence, because I wouldn't think to check otherwise.
right? So plans. What are your plans?
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish my Strawberry Fields 10 hours. I'm gonna finish my other Whip Go Drop, which I did not touch at all, which is this Euro thing. So I think my goal was to just finish this one and start the next one, which I can definitely do in like a couple of days.
Yeah.
This one just has like a bunch of like fill in and like some back stitching left and like a few like little pieces that are just kind of annoying because it's like a lot of color changes. But then I can start the next one. And I am like I was kind of like dragging my feet on it because I was debating if I was gonna do them like all in a row or separate them. But I think for sure I'm just gonna have them together, like the three in a row. So then I know that and I can just start the next one like right next to it. And then I'm gonna do just like backstitch the city names underneath rather than doing like the whole banner that it was like charted as. But anyway, so that and then I want to work on some more Christmas things that I got out last month and didn't touch. So my Bendy Stitchy midnight ride or whatever it's called, the Moose and Hildy, and then what Hildy's Winter Ride, that's what it's called. And then going on a cruise in January. So I don't know. I'm gonna start a couple of things, but then I want to like bring like small things to work on, I think.
Yeah.
And then also we're gonna be getting stuff there. So I'm gonna start my memorabilia on Christmas Day, I think. And then I'm gonna start my Jacob 2024 Sal, maybe on New Year's Day. Because I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start that on New Year's Day, and I'm gonna start. I don't know.
Yeah. I know there's only like a week and a half left of this month of this year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's
and I got to make my Whip Go boards for next year because I'm doing a Quirky Quaker Whip Go and I'm going to do a regular Whip Go, but it's just going to be prompts.
yeah. So
So I
speaking
have
of Let's
so
Go,
much like right because I have a million whips right now and or 55 basically a million so I just don't think I could narrow it down to be like these are the 25 things I'm only going to work on this year and even if I did like one or two prompts like I still feel like it's just yeah I think I'm going to keep it to the 10 hours because that has been like very doable and also like I can do like an hour a day for like 10 days or I can do 5 hour days,
yeah,
right? Which is like I mean that's basically how I'm stitching now. It's either like a half hour to an hour once like after work or whatever, or I just spend the whole day stitching. There really is no in between. So so I think the 10 hours is a good chunk and it lets me get some like good progress. And then and it's easier for me to count by hours than as days because I think yeah. Um, and then the Quakers would just be like a staff. Like
Yeah.
the whole point is to just finish them. So,
Yeah.
which takes a couple hours per, maybe up to 4, I think is the most I've ever worked on a Quaker. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, some of them are a bit more finicky than others.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already seen, if you're a Notion user, or even if you're not a Notion user, Nati has given us all free the WIPCO 2024 board. So if you're like, I'm not sure about Notion, this is a good way to sort of start to get used to the platform. So I've only just barely started, but so I'm gonna fill out my board. I'm gonna do a for every single one of these, all 25 things, I'm going to give it a Quirky Quaker prompt and a Patreon prompt. And then when we get our 2 numbers for each month, I'll pick one of the Quirky Quakers and one of the Patreons from those.
Oh, smart.
To do it, but I'm not going to it's not going to be specific projects. So like here I've got Ocean Quirky Quaker, right? And then I'll have like a holiday Quirky Quaker or Halloween Quirky Quaker, right? Like animal Quirky Quaker, right? Like make it a little bit more broad. And then the Patreon ones will be thematic, or maybe I will put the patron, the creators. I don't know what they call them on Patreon.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But, right, like just put the designer's name, right? Like Witchy Stitcher or Bendy Stitchy, right? Like the people who I have patterns from on there. To mix and match.
And then you can just be like, oh yeah, I'll do this one from whoever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to finish building that, which has really been delayed because I need to accumulate all my stuff and make a list of all the things I have so that I have that. And then I can sort of decide what those prompts will be. I'm going to keep working on my Modern Folk Embroidery Advent, my knitting, my Amory tapestry. I want to start, I might start season greetings. I want to start my ink circles round robin and my Carolyn Manning round robin picks.
Oh, ink circles round robin. I also start that.
Start those. I'm going to keep working on Miriam's from Yalda to Naru's Sal, because there's a lot of border, and getting up to speed on that border so that then I can keep up with it for the drops. Like once you get that top piece done, and then you're just doing it as you build it out, is a little bit more sustainable. But she also there's a lot of drops, right? It's a lot of stitching. It's not 1 drop a month. It's more intense than that. So I don't think I will finish within the time frame, but I don't want to fall too far behind. Stitching on that, which makes it sound like a job. It's not a job. I really enjoy it. It will be fun.
Yeah, but you also want to get progress.
I want to accomplish it, right? And I want to do it with people, right? As we're doing it in the time frame. So there's that. And then yeah, I have been toying with starting my Mirabilia on Christmas, which is the
Monday.
Do I need another giant project? Absolutely not. But it's been sitting here waiting for me. And I had delayed starting it because I was thinking about changing the colors to be more green than turquoise in the skirt. But I think I'm just going to stitch it as is, and not try to worry about a conversion of that skirt. Yeah. So, I mean, she's pretty big. 163 by 252. So, another long-term project, but it's no different with some stitches in it than just sitting in a bag with everything, right? There's no difference there. So, might as well just start it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, the accounting for the whips will be happening sometime between Christmas and New Year. We're going to have a very special guest, so we'll have to figure out our dates and figure out when we're going to film that. Be prepared for a, director's cut length Flosstube episode. I have ditched one whip which we'll talk about.
Oh.
We'll talk about that accounting, and I might have ditched more by then as I go through things. When I think about them, I'm like, I want to stitch them all, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I updated my list a couple weeks ago, just to have an idea, and I also had not been writing them down
Mm.
each time I started something. So I had to go through my journal and pick out the ones where it said new start. And then there were some that I didn't write down as a new start, and I actually had to go and watch that month's Flosstube to see if I talked about it as a new start or if it was already a whip. So I need to keep better track, which is why I need to start using Notion.
Yeah.
But it just like at this point, it feels like putting all my stuff into there would be such a like I'm like until I know that I have the time to sit down and fill it out completely, I'm not gonna like I don't want to like only kind of half use it. Like
I built it, but I have not been upkeeping it. I need to what I think I need to do is I don't really like it on the phone, but I
yeah.
need to put it on my iPad and get used to it on there. And I
Mm, maybe.
um doing more of that regular updating because I don't come home and sit at the computer and do
Yeah.
things for the most part because I do too much of that all day long and my brain doesn't want it anymore, so it rebels. Um, so doing it on the iPad, I think, will help me stay on top of it a little bit more. I don't know that I'll track stitching in there. I like writing it in a calendar, but then also if you don't track your stitching in there, you don't like some of the stuff in there, like, how long has it been since you touched it and how much have you done it, right? Those aspects of the database that Natty built don't come through, but it doesn't mean that I can't do it, right? Like I can write it down and then I could just, spend
Add
half
it later. Or yeah.
putting it all in, right? I don't necessarily have to track it in there every day.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. It's a great tool. I do like having my like floss and fabric in there because then I
Yeah.
can look and see what I
That
have.
that's definitely one of the aspects that I'm most excited for is being able to keep track of what I
Yeah, so
have.
you could build your stash without necessarily building your projects too, right? To begin with. So,
Yeah.
but
And I definitely, because like I was pulling out fabric the other day to like start the Miriam one. And I was like realizing, because right now I have them organized kind of like in color families, but I think I'm gonna redo them and organize them by size
oh, okay.
and have like, so that if I'm like, okay, I need something roughly, or like a piece of fabric that hasn't been cut, and then
Mm-hmm.
I have those all together so that
Yeah.
I have my biggest pieces of fabric and I can go through those rather than like pick out one that's a color that I was like, oh, maybe this color, and then I measure it and it's too small. So I think,
So
and then if
in
I do that, then I can type them in while I'm organizing them. So then it'll be, yeah.
so in our dear friend Nettie's Notion app, let's
Which
just
tells you.
right. So you've got the fabric count, kind of fabric, colors, dyers, etc. But you can say how much you have in stash.
Yeah, that's what
So
I need.
you could then filter it. I like there's the project ones that don't have it, but the stash ones,
Yeah.
right? So then you could filter it by how much you need for your project and what count,
Mhm.
right? Like so you don't you could keep it organized by color, but
Yeah.
put the size in there is what I'm
Oh,
trying,
yeah, that's
right?
really smart.
So if you like having it organized by color, for when you don't necessarily need that other information, but you could have the size listed so
Yeah,
you can go and look for it. So
I like that. It's very
yeah.
smart. I just need to jump in. Maybe when I have some time off
Hmm.
over Christmas, I'll set aside an afternoon and do all that. Because I would love to have all my everything just like at a glance. And yeah, very helpful. And then I'll have it ready for when I'm on the cruise with everyone, and then we can be showing each other our notions. And be like, oh, because we're gonna have Wi-Fi. They included the Wi-Fi package in our
Oh,
cruise. cost. And like normally, like the other two cruises I've done, I didn't bother paying for the internet because it's crazy expensive.
Mm.
But we'll have Wi-Fi, so we'll be able to like log stuff and use
Nice.
yeah, and call our friends, do a little video chat with some
I'm
people,
here for
maybe.
some FaceTiming.
Yeah.
I can be on the cruise.
Yeah. I'll just have you like on like on Zoom, like on my iPad like all day and you can watch everything.
I have personally contributed to the success of your cruise, so I feel like FaceTiming me in is the least you all.
You stitched the thing?
Oh no, no, no.
Oh,
I sent some things to Michelle.
okay.
She's
But still, that's pretty great.
class, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to see what it is. I know it's gonna be so good. I can't
I
wait.
have some insider secrets, but I won't tell you. But
Don't spoil it.
you'll have fun.
I'm really excited. And
Mhm.
Miriam was like texting me, or she was like messaging me on Instagram, and she's like, oh, I just printed off like the whole schedule. Like, did you blah 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 blah? And I was like, oh, I was like, no, I just have the app. And she was like, there's an app, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay, great, I'll get that too. I was like, yes, that will definitely come in handy.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're supposed to. I was like, I don't even have a printer. I don't print stuff off. I just have it on my phone. So yeah, she's really excited. She was like, "This is my first cruise," and I was like, "It'll be a great first cruise because you have people that you can talk to. You're not by yourself, and like everything is planned,
Mhm.
right? All you have to do is show up, and everything is planned, and it's great. Very relaxing.
You won't be at a table with strangers for
No,
meal,
we'll be
right?
together.
With your cross stitch people, which is fantastic.
Mhm.
Why would you want to eat with strangers when you can eat with cross stitchers?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it'll be lots of fun.
So we'll be back in a couple of weeks, not even like 10 days.
For an accounting of the year. Are we doing a finish and whip parade?
Like finish of this year. So like if it was like a whip last year and it's a finish now, is that what you're thinking? Or
Or
like anything we finished this whole year?
all of them, the full year, the full
I
accounting.
think yeah, everything we've stitched this whole year, I think. Yeah. So
So yeah, get your
we'll
pause.
have a lot of very small little
Learn how to
finishes.
use the pause button. It'll be great.
It's gonna be like a 4 hour long maybe video.
It'll be fine. Everybody will be fine.
I think of the three of us, I probably have the fewest like finishes. But you might have more like little ones.
I
I
have
finished a couple
so
of
many
really big
little
things this
finishes.
year.
I have
Yeah,
not
I
like
finished
I
a
thought
lot of little things.
that I
Yeah.
have started and finished like 30 something things this year
Yeah.
and touched
I,
like maybe at most 10 of my whips, probably fewer.
yeah.
So if I had put the attention that I put into my new starts into my existing projects, which
Well,
was
what
the
fun would
plan
that be?
from last year, I was like, oh, I can totally finish 20 of these. Not this year,
Yeah.
maybe next.
Well,
We'll find out.
there's still time.
They're not going bad.
No,
They
they'll keep for years still.
just exist. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I think we have said as much as we need to say and probably a little bit more.
I
Um,
agree.
we will see you in a couple weeks. I am hopeful that this will look nicer by the time we see you again. I have some decluttering uh, time in my future when I am free range and not at work.
Definitely helps to not be at work.
Yeah, yeah. I really like my extra days off between Christmas and New Year's. Not allowed to work even if I wanted to.
Good. You shouldn't.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If that other phone rings, there's usually a reason. So
Yeah.
okay.
I have like normal days off. I think I might have one extra day.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's fine.
Okay. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And we will see you in a couple weeks.